It is finally International Fight Week, and the UFC normally brings a banger of a card with them for that T-Mobile show going down in Las Vegas, and I think they've somewhat delivered here. Can't really go wrong with Ilia Topuria in the main event, looking to snatch the vacant lightweight title as he takes on former champion Charles do Bronx Oliveira, and we got a second title on the line as the co-main event features flyweight champion Alexandre Pantoja looking to defend his title for the fourth time, taking on the oncoming Kai Kara France. We got Peyton Talbott on the main card going up against Philippe Lima. We got Brandon Royval against Joshua Van. A ton of great fights on this card. But a reminder, this is the quick picks version for the UFC 317 breakdown. I'll be leaving out a few details in some of these matchups, going over these fights 20 to 30 seconds each. So I'll clearly be leaving some stuff out. If you want to find out the stuff that I left out, check out the full card breakdown that I dropped on Sunday, the MMA Lawcast. I either have it in the description below, or you guys just go on the YouTube channel and find it there. We got the full card breakdown where I went over an hour talking about every single matchup. All right, hope you're laced up and ready to go because we're off and running with the first fight of the night between Nico Price and Jacoby Smith. I'm expecting Jacoby Smith to go out there and flatline Nico Price within the first round and a half. Is it worth minus 2,000 though? Probably not, but regardless, I'm expecting the youngster to get the early knockout finish here. Next up, we got Jonathan Diniz going up against Alvin Hines. Hines can make this very competitive in his UFC debut, but I ultimately think Diniz picks away at him on the feet and eventually finds a knockout in the first 2 rounds. We're supposed to get Cedric Dumas against Jackson McVey in this fight, but Dumas pulled out. In steps short notice Kristen Ewert. That just happened less than an hour ago, so I haven't had the chance to jump into that fight, but I will drop a separate breakdown for that matchup probably by tomorrow once we get the odds, so stay tuned for that. All right, next up, we got Terrence McKinney going up against Vyacheslav Borshchev. We got McKinney obviously going under 1.5 rounds often in his fights. All 10 of his UFC bouts have gone under 1.5. 19 of his 23 pro fights have finished in round 1. 22 of his 23 pro fights have finished under 1.5. So that's definitely the way you should be going in this matchup. But I think it's going to be Borshchev who ends up fending off the early grappling threat of McKinney and then eventually pulverizes him by the ending of the first round or early second round to get that TKO finish. Next up, we got Viviane Araujo going up against Tracy Cortez. I'm really leaning Cortez in this spot as I think her wrestling can really break Araujo down, and this will look quite dominant for Cortez in the second and third rounds, leading to her winning this fight on the scorecards. Next up, we got Haider Amil going up against Jose Delgado. I really like Amil in this spot because I feel like he can put enough pressure and pace on Delgado that Delgado won't be able to enjoy that technical striking advantage he holds here. That's where Delgado has fell short last time, or in his lone defeat against Chris Makate, and I feel Amil can push a similar type of grappling pace that will cause Delgado a ton of trouble, leading to Amil winning this fight on the scorecards. Next up, we got Jack Hermansson going up against Gregory Rodrigues. It was nice to cash that underdog ticket on Hermansson last February, but I think this is a bad matchup for him coming back after over a year and a half away from action, and I think that Rodrigues will be able to dictate the pace with his power punching, but also an ability to take this fight to the ground and grind out Hermansson, leading to Rodrigues winning this fight on the scorecards. Next up, we got Peyton Talbott going up against Philippe Lima. Lima is a very high-level prospect and even brighter of a prospect than Peyton Talbott, and I think we'll see him touch up Talbott with combinations, mix in some slick takedown attempts behind it, and eventually grind this fight out and win it on the scorecards. Next up, we got a banger of a lightweight matchup between Beneil Dariush and Renato Moicano. Very surprised that Moicano finds himself as the favorite, as I think Dariush, if his durability shows up, should be more than enough to thwart Moicano's approach and even find that finish within 2.5 rounds. I really like Dariush to shut down the grappling game of Moicano, then land some big shots of his own to eventually put Moicano out, probably by TKO, maybe club and sub, but either way, I think Dariush gets it done inside the distance. Next up, high stakes flyweight matchup here as Brandon Royval takes on short notice replacement Joshua Van. Originally, this was supposed to be Manel Kape against Brandon Royval, but an injury has now given Joshua Van the biggest opportunity of his career. I think Royval's unorthodox striking approach could make things difficult for Van early, but I expect Van to eventually touch up Brandon Royval, land those big shots, especially in the second and third round, maybe find a TKO late, but I think the 23-year-old ends up going on to win this fight on the scorecards and picking up the biggest win of his career. That leads us to our title fight in the co-main event as Alexandre Pantoja looks to defend his flyweight title against Kai Kara-France. I think this is a great matchup for Pantoja to showcase his grappling dominance once again, and I think within 2.5 rounds he should be able to find that dominant position to find that submission and force the tap from Kara-France. And still flyweight champion Alexandre Pantoja. And that brings us to the main event with the vacant lightweight title on the line as Ilia Topuria takes on Charles do Bronx Oliveira. I think this is a perfect matchup to show the dominance of Topuria, as I think he can really walk Charles Oliveira down, land his big power shots, and I think it ultimately sets up that knockout. But don't be surprised if Topuria looks to take this fight to the ground to try to make a statement and try to submit the UFC submission leader. But I think Topuria eventually finds that knockout and it takes out Oliveira that way. And new lightweight champion Ilia El Matador Topuria. There you guys go. Quick picks for the full card here for UFC 317. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And I'll be back tomorrow for the Lockheed Trinity, Lockheed two-step free parlay, and I'll be dropping the Cage Warriors breakdowns over the next few days as well. Stay tuned for that. See you guys then. Peace.